The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.
Close your eyes and pull like a dog.
And a new Irish record for Phil Healy, 22.99.
Christy Cooney hands over the Sam Maguire Cup to Graham Canty, Cork All-Ireland champions for the 7th time ever.
Hello and welcome back to the Star Sport podcast. I'm your host Dylan Mangan, joined today by Star Sports editor Kieran McCarthy, and we're bringing you the latest on the Skibbereen rowers involved at the Olympics this Monday morning ahead of a huge week for Irish rowing. The Star Sport podcast, as always, is brought to you in association with our friends at Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, where your bank really does matter. Choose credit union, choose local, choose community. Now, before we get into things, Kieran, I guess the rowers, they were all out on Sunday in their respective heats, and there were some good performances, some maybe slightly disappointing results as well. But the big two, Paul O'Donovan and Fintan McCarthy, won their heat in style, and afterwards, Paul O'Donovan was in classic form. So I'm just going to play a little bit of his interview for our listeners now when he was speaking to RTE after the race.
And you haven't had a whole lot of time on the competitive water, if you want to put it that way, but it must be nice to get out and be competitive there today and just get that race underneath the belt.
It is. It's nice to be competitive there today. You know, we've come into this as the big underdogs. We were seated way down the list, but we like that position. We're the little Davids of this world going up against the Goliaths of Norway, Switzerland, Italy, these fellas in the rowing world. And like Fintan said, we've been working hard to kind of show them that we're not here to make up the numbers. We're here for serious business. So we've done a good job today. We'll be happy with that.
So, Kieran, Paul O'Donovan says that they are the Davids up against the Goliaths of the Norwegians, the Italians, the Swiss. Obviously, he's a little bit tongue-in-cheek there, but for a little bit of background, what's he talking about there with the seeding?
So the poor little underdogs from Skibbereen up against it, like Paul said, taking on the Goliaths of the Switzerlands and the Italies and so on. So what he's talking about is the seedings for these Olympics. The Irish lightweight double was seeded number 3. I think that might be strange because they are reigning Olympic champions, they are reigning world champions. But as we spoke before on the podcast, Paul and Fintan haven't been in action too much this year at all, while Switzerland and Italy have been the two lightweight doubles at the forefront. Switzerland won the European Championships. The Italian double won the overall World Cup regatta. So that's why they've been seeded ahead of Fintan and Paul, based on current form that we know this year, because the one regatta that Paul and Fintan did race in was a World Cup 2 in Lucerne, and both Switzerland and Italy beat Ireland that day in the A final. It was a rare bronze medal for Paul and Fintan, their first ever in the Irish men's lightweight double. So that's why they were seeded at number 3. But I suppose the kind of devil is in the detail, because there was no context given to the form, I suppose, of the lack of races that the lads had together. So if they want to use it for a bit of fuel this week to kind of to stoke the flames and get themselves going, let the two lads off, because I think we saw on Sunday, Dylan, with their winning their heat, that Paul and Fintan, they eased their way into this Olympics, and they look quite impressive.
Yeah, one of the Goliaths that he mentioned in that little clip were the Norwegians, who were in the heat with them, and they finished 6 or 7 seconds ahead of them. So do you reckon that was a little bit of confidence talking as well? It was maybe him saying, look, we're back, we're here, we're ready, and maybe putting it up to the others as well.
I think for all, if you look across the 3 heats, with Ireland winning the 3rd heat, with Switzerland the 1st heat, and Italy the 2nd heat, so they're the 3, I suppose, main medal contenders. So there's a chance for them all to kind of a statement of intent, to signal their intentions for the week that it is, because it's quite a fast-paced week from the heats to the semi-finals on Wednesday, touchwood, all the way to the A final on Friday morning. So each crew, I think, wanted to put down a marker, and they all did. They all did, like the kind of, like I said, the three favourites for the 3 medals all won their heats. But I think I think Paul and Fintan will be quite happy, and they were. You could see it afterwards that they were quite happy with the performance that they put in. They just got the week off to the perfect start.
Yeah, and their semi-final is coming up on Wednesday. That'll be at about 10:15, and they're facing Switzerland in that one. And how much can listeners kind of look into the times of the heats? Like are they important? Because if you look at the actual time, Switzerland finished about 10 seconds ahead of Ireland, or is it does the time kind of go out of the window after the race in a sense?
Yeah, the time doesn't really matter, to be quite honest, because it's like different races, different conditions. And I think when Paul and Fintan were in action yesterday, the wind had picked up compared to the heats that had gone before. So I wouldn't read anything at all into the timing of the heats. We'll get a far better idea of where Paul and Fintan are at on Wednesday morning in their semi-final. They're in the lane beside Switzerland. So this is two of the big favourites, Ireland and Switzerland, head to head in a semi-final. So it's a top three to go through to the final. So like once they get through to the final, Paul and Fintan, that's the main thing. But I'm sure, like, and it'd be the same for Switzerland. They'd both love to put down a marker against the other one, almost to kind of that psychological side of it. So really looking forward to this one, and we'll have a real good sense of where this Irish double is at, because Switzerland have been very good all year. They've been one of the obviously European champions, and up there with Italy, and two of them have been vying for top spot in all the regattas. So this is it's a good chance for us to see where Paul and Fintan are at as we move towards Friday.
Yeah, that's one to set the alarm for. So it's 14 minutes past 10 it's timed for on Wednesday morning. Obviously that time can change very slightly, but it'll be about 10:15 when they start their semi-final race. And Aoife Casey will also be in a semi-final on Wednesday. She will take to the water at about 11:15 after winning their repechage this morning, Kieran. Aoife Casey and Mags Cremen, they came third in their opening heat. Probably a little bit disappointed, but a brilliant performance this morning to win their repechage.
Yeah, Aoife and Mags are very impressive on this Monday morning. They won their repechage with Clearwater, with Canada behind them. So what that's done is got Aoife and Mags back on track. They'll have been slightly disappointed yesterday where they finished third. So it was a top two went straight into the Wednesday semi-final, but then from third place down went into the repechage, which for listeners, that's almost the second chance. It's your second chance to get back on track. So Aoife and Mags were back out this morning, and they did what they had to do, and they were quite impressive in that. They won with a bit of room to spare. So that puts them through to the semi-final on Wednesday as well. From here, it's the top three that will qualify for their A final, which is also on Friday. I see here from the draw, like Ireland are up against Romania, France, the Greeks who finished ahead of them as well in the heat, and Austria and Tunisia are there as well. So you'll be looking, I think, at the France, Romania, Greece and Ireland, kind of those four crews would be really battling it out for those top three spots. So hopefully, touch wood, that Aoife and Mags can get the job done. And we'll have to go back to the 2022 Worlds, Dylan, where Aoife and Mags won a bronze medal there. So they proved that they can win medals at the highest level. But like we've said before on this podcast, it comes down to fractions of a second. So hopefully everything comes together for them on Wednesday morning.
Yeah, they'll probably be happy as well to be avoiding Great Britain in the semi-final, because they were kind of standout performers alongside probably Romania in the heats. So they'll be looking forward to it. And just a word on like the idea of doing a repechage as well. Does that in some cases probably help rowers? Like they get the heat out of the way, maybe the nerves are out of the way, and then the repechage is the chance to kind of really go for it.
Yeah, in an ideal world, you want to go the direct route, but these athletes, they're so well conditioned. Aoife and Mags now, they're not back in the water until Wednesday morning, so you could say 2 full days, that's 48 hours to recover and get the energy, nutrition and so on back into their bodies. So I think they're well used to this as well. They've done countless kind of international regattas, so they know how it works, and they know what they need to do between now and then to be in the best shape for Wednesday morning. But I think it was good for the confidence for them to go out and win this morning's repechage and win it so convincingly. So that'll have their tails up heading into Wednesday, because this is the race in a sense that really matters, because if you finish in the top three, you get through to the medal race, and that's where they want to be, and anything can happen in that race then. But if they don't finish in the top three, it's into the B final. So everything hinges, and it's the same with Paul and Fintan, and even with Emily in the women's four. Everything, you just want to get into the medal race. You want to get into the A final. So that's what everything is geared towards now.
Yeah, that semi-final again for Aoife Casey is on at about 11:15 on Wednesday morning. It'll probably be a really tight one, so it'll be an exciting one to watch as they go up against, as we said, the Romanians, the Greeks, the French as well. So that's one to look forward to. And finally, Kieran, tomorrow, Emily Hegarty and the Irish women's four will be in action in their repechage. They finished third in their heat with the Netherlands and Romania pulling away a little bit from them. But like Aoife Casey, Emily Hegarty, and the rest of that four have a good chance to get themselves into a semi-final tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and the repechage, they're up against Denmark, the United States, China, and Australia. So Emily and co, what they need here is finishing either first or second, and if they do that, they'll go through to the A final, while third, fourth, and fifth go through to the B final. And like I just said earlier, Dylan, it's all about getting that top two spot here and getting into the medal race. Romania, Netherlands were, I suppose they finished a fair bit ahead of the Irish women's four on Sunday morning, but at least that was another race under their belts, and they'll have had 2 full days before they go out in the repechage, and touch wood, all goes well there, and they'll have another 2 full days before the women's four final on Thursday morning. So hopefully Emily and Cole, like I said, can get the job done, and we could have all 4 Skibbereen rowers in Olympic finals this week, and that would be incredible.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Those finals are on. The women's four is on Thursday. The lightweight finals are on Friday. So don't book them off yet, but maybe just keep an eye on those times as the week progresses. We'll obviously be covering the Olympic rowing along with everything else across our social media, on our website, and of course in this week's Southern Star, which will be out on Thursday as well. If you are further afield, can't make it to the shops, you can subscribe to the Star and get it on your laptop, tablet, or phone. So just head to southernstar.ie/subscribe, enter your details there, and you'll get an exact replica of the newspaper for less than €2 per week. We also have a great offer available at the moment where you get your first 3 months for 50%. So it'll be €4 a month instead of 8. You can head to southernstar.ie/offers for all the details there. And as always, thanks for listening to the Star Sport podcast, and thanks again to our sponsors at Access Credit Union. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and you'll be hearing from us probably later this week and also next week as the Olympics really kicks off. Thanks for listening.
The Star Sport podcast is brought to you by Access Credit Union. Access Credit Union, funding dreams for over 50 years.